Did you know there's an easy, free way to improve your erections that you can start doing today? Today, I'm going to share some fascinating research that could have a big impact on your health and your sex life, particularly your erections. Before I dive in, I want to share a quick way that you can connect with me that's completely free. Each and every week, I send out a newsletter, and this video that I'm going to share with you today, this research article, was actually sent to my newsletter subscribers before I even made this video. So they got this research hot off the press. Also, each and every week, I answer a subscriber question from the newsletter in the newsletter, and I share a little bit about what's going on with me. Make sure to sign up for the newsletter in the description below. It is completely free, and I guarantee you will not regret it. All right, let's start by talking about erectile dysfunction. Now, this is the inability to get or maintain an erection that's sufficient for penetration. Now, it is very, very common, and above 52% of men will have issues with erections. Now, I've talked about the many causes of erectile dysfunction on this channel before, like health problems and stress, but many of these issues are connected to your heart health. And the most important thing to realize is that good blood flow is key for a healthy erection. And that's where this free, easy activity comes in. It's walking. Now, before you click away and say, of course, I know walking is important, I want you to stay tuned because I'm not just going to tell you to go walk. This study actually tells you how fast you need to walk to improve your erections by as much as 76%. Yeah, that's a huge number, 76%. So this study was published out of China in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, and it used information from two huge studies. One of the studies looked at people's genetic makeup and how fast they walked. Specifically, they looked at something called single nucleotide polymorphisms, which are gene variations called SNPs, and they linked those to walking pace. And a SNP is basically a tiny difference in your DNA. Think of it as like a very tiny variation in your code. Some people have a G where others have a T. And these tiny differences can affect how your body works. And in this case, it influences your genetic predisposition to your walking pace. The second study looked at people's genes and whether they had erectile dysfunction. So they compared these two data sets and they looked to see if the SNPs linked to faster walking were also linked to a lower risk of ED. And they looked at 3 different ways to analyze the data to make sure that the results were ultimately reliable. They, of course, also considered other factors that could affect ED, like smoking, obesity, and diabetes, to make sure they weren't getting any confounding variables. Now, they categorized the walking pace into 3 groups: slow, which was less than 3 miles per hour, average 3 to 4 miles per hour, or fast, over 4 miles per hour. And they also measured walking duration in minutes per day and the number of days per week, but they had to walk at least 10 minutes. And the results were surprising. They found a really strong link between faster walking pace and a lower risk of ED. Specifically, if you increased your baseline walking pace by just 1 mile per hour, that was associated with a 76% lower risk of ED. And this held true even after they considered all those other factors. And interestingly, walking for longer, so longer than 10 minutes or more often, didn't have the same effect. It was the pace of the walk that mattered most. So what does this mean for you? It means that simply by increasing your walking pace, you can reduce your risk of ED. Not more walking, not more often, but going faster. Now, while we need more research on this, the findings are really promising. A brisk walk is a simple, effective step that will help you get better health and better erectile health. So what does this mean? Well, if you're a guy who's concerned about your sexual health and you want to be proactive, just go ahead and pick up the pace on your next walk. And this could make a real difference. Now, again, you might be saying, hey, I already walk every day. How much faster do I really need to go? Well, the sweet spot seems to be walking at a pace of over 4 miles per hour, or what the researchers defined as a fast walking pace. Now, that's a brisk stroll. It's not a slow, lazy stroll. It's a brisk stroll, but it is not a full-on jog. And the benefits seem to be well worth the extra effort. So, of course, the study isn't perfect, right? This study only looked at people of European descent because the data sets were from Europe. And so we'll need to see if the results hold true for other populations. And they did their best to account for all these confounding factors, but there's always a chance that something else might be influencing the relationship between walking and ED. Ultimately, I think this research is really exciting. It provides really strong evidence that something as simple and accessible as picking up the pace on your daily walk could have a meaningful impact on your erections and your sexual health. And let's be honest, that's the kind of information that we want, that we can use each and every single day. So what's my advice? When you finish watching this video, get up and go for a walk and push yourself to go a little faster than your natural cadence. Your future self and your penis will thank you. And who knows, you might even notice some other benefits like having a better mood and better heart health. So guys, thank you so much for joining. If you guys are enjoying this content, make sure to subscribe because only 20% of you watching this video are subscribed. So make sure you subscribe right now. And as always, we're gonna take care of yourself because you are worth it.